Hey, everybody. Thank you for your patience and for waiting. I thought we had an incredible night. I had high expectations for it. This was one of those evenings where I think as we were in the build to this, we had to make a lot of chicken salad, so to speak, and we had to cross a lot of T's and dot a lot of I's along the way. And, obviously this came together from an event standpoint and from a storyline standpoint quickly because of injuries and because of the situation of today and having to constantly reevaluate. But I thought this crew and team did what they do, which is let their passion shine, and they went above and beyond as they do pretty much every time. The Capitol Center looked incredible. My vantage point, just looked spectacular. It was a game changer for NXT. The addition of the live fans, and I'll reiterate the putting them in pods where they are with people that they know, friends, family, whatever, and having them separated, being tested, wearing masks, just everything that could be done. Obviously, doing the best that we can at all times to keep not only our performers and staff safe, but fans as well. But having them here makes all the difference in the world. It truly is the passion. Their passion is the lifeblood of what we do, and having them here for us, especially for the talent, is just you can't state enough how big that is. So I thought that aspect of it was spectacular. The Capitol Wrestling Center looked incredible. The energy tonight was off the charts, and then talent, across the board delivered, from, and I think it speaks to the depth and the talent of what NXT brings to the table. There's just something different, different stylistically to a lot of our performers, different stylistically to the matches that they can put out. That main event was a war between Finn and Kyle, Io and Candice, just, unbelievable. So, everybody bringing something different to the table. I thought we saw a lot of breakout performances tonight from people like Tashida and Swerve and even Santos and Kyle, just bringing it to another level and really breaking out and becoming bigger stars. So I'm going to open up to all of you, but one thing I also did want to mention is the return. Very excited about it, of Halloween Havoc on October 28th, which will be a lot of fun, and looking forward to that. So with that, I will open it up to questions. I will also mention before we get there, and I'm sure somebody will ask about it, is, from an injury standpoint, Kyle being evaluated as we speak, and Finn Balor on his way to have his jaw x-rayed to see what's going on there. So hopefully we're in good shape. Other than that, everybody is good. So I will open up to you. And again, thanks for waiting, and thanks for tonight.
All right, everybody, we'll keep it to one question per outlet tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you'd like to ask a question on today's call, that is *1 on your telephone keypad. Once again, that's *. Go ahead and take our first question from Jim Barceloni with Miami Herald. Please go ahead.
Hey, thank you much, guys. Really good show again tonight. I'm curious, because you did mention Halloween Havoc, and we also saw Ember Moon. And is that just a coincidence, good timing? What is going on there? And if you could expand a little bit on the Halloween Havoc and having Ember back, and even Toni Storm appearing, which is really cool at the end of that women's match.
Yeah, just when you think that the women's division in NXT can't get any stronger, and the depth of it is just incredible. Out comes Toni Storm back in NXT. Out comes Ember Moon returning from what could have been a career or was a career-threatening injury, but is back and ready to go and back here in NXT. And I can tell you that from talking to him tonight, it it was hard for her not to be smiling. She's so excited to be here, so excited to be back, getting ready to do what she loves to do. And, you know, I asked her who she was looking forward to working with, and she gave me about a 12-person list. So, you know, it just speaks to the division and how strong it is, and everybody wanting to be here and be a part of it, because the competition is the best, and it makes everybody rise to a higher occasion. As far as the timing of her return, the timing of her return was based around when she was available to return. We've been talking about her coming back here for a while, probably since she was injured, and maybe even before that. And you know, the timing was just here. She just got cleared. She's healthy. She's chomping at the bit to return, and so you know, the door was open. As far as Halloween Havoc, it's just an exciting event. You know, it's a way to have a little bit of fun and to entertain, and something that I used to look forward to. So here we are, and I think these kind of throwbacks and opening stuff up to things like this that people remember fondly is a great way to do it. So I'm excited for it. Excited to get rolling, and who better to host than Shotzi Blackheart? I mean, even I just think when you saw the promo spot for it, Shotzi fits right in there in the old Halloween Havoc world. So it's going to be a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
And we'll go ahead and take our next question from Alex McCarthy with TalkSport. Please go ahead.
Hey, Alex.
Hi, Paul. Great show tonight.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to ask some questions basically on some of the stuff we saw tonight, like Velveteen Dream obviously took a bit of a beat down, and the Gargano Way didn't have a great night either. There's been kind of conflicting messages from WWE on social media. Are we expecting to see NXT in the draft this coming week and the next? And do you think some talents like this, who I just mentioned, who have spent a lot of time in the brand, is it kind of ripe time for them to move on? Because as we've seen with Ember Moon, there's always a way to come back, but perhaps this is the time that NXT actually are in the draft?
Yeah, you know, I think, I'll be honest with you, this was asked the other day. I would, if I knew if we were in the draft, I would tell you. But I don't. It's, they're working through that. It's going to be kind of a wait and see thing even for us. And I think the good thing that, as you said, there's the great thing to me about WWE, no matter how you look at it, there's opportunities everywhere, whether it's UK, whether it's here, whether it's Raw, whether it's SmackDown, and there'll be even more of that in the near future. So the opportunity to not, if it's the right timing, to not stay in a place, to have a fresh start, any of those things are always there. And that's exciting. I don't know. I don't resign myself or see it as, well, somebody was in a place and they've been there for a little while, they should go someplace else. Like, to me, that is the art of storytelling, you know, and I go back years to people staying in territories or, you know, on certain brands and certain things for years. When they finally do move, it's meaningful. And, you know, and having those big moments, it's funny that the impatience of people, in my mind today, of they just want it all now, and they can't wait to see the big match. They can't wait to see, oh, this person go over there, they face that person, that would be so great. If you can wait on it and you can let it build, you make it even bigger. You have to have patience with it, and really it becomes imperative on us to, you know, if somebody's been there for, it's easy to be exciting when it's brand new. It's when that brand new wears off and you have to get into actual storytelling and real stuff that you can have the opportunity to build on it. So to me, I'm not saying that about anybody in particular or that anybody should or shouldn't move. It's just my observation. I just believe that people want things to happen super fast, and the second the shiny penny thing is off of it, they want it to go someplace else and have the shiny penny on it again. And it's really, that's when you dig into the storytelling. The characters that last can morph and shift. The performers that can last can transform themselves into something different. And it doesn't have to happen immediately in that moment. It has to play out, you know. And when you look at things like Johnny and Candace tonight, like, yeah, they're just that Gargano way. They're just getting rolling. There's a lot more to this than what you've seen so far, and that will play out. And I think people will be excited for that. But you have to have patience to do it.
Awesome. I understand. Thank you, Paul. And once again, great show.
Thank you, Alex.
Go ahead and take our next question from Mike Johnson with PW Insider. Please go ahead.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Paul. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
Let me switch for a second and ask you a question. What do you think of the Capitol Center?
Oh, well, actually, it's going to be my question. I love the building.
Oh,
I love the look of it. So, obviously, you guys unrolled this building today. You had the interview with Justin Barrasso earlier today. But my question is more about the logistics here. Is that a permanent setup for what used to be known as the Performance Center? And if so, how does this change the training regimen and curriculum? And how does, what's with the new identity and the new purpose for this building every week, how does this change everything that previously existed and took place in that building?
Yeah, so that's a really great question, and something that we're working through as we speak. Yes, it changes the dynamic of what this main room of the Performance Center was, and now it's a show place, as it has been sort of since the beginning of COVID. It's a funny thing because people talk about us getting back to training again, but it hasn't been here, and it hasn't been. When I say here, I mean I'm in the Performance Center, so it hasn't been in this building, and it hasn't been in what everybody had visited and all the rings sat in as the Performance Center. Is in another smaller location where we've put less rings, but used it to socially distance and created the space that we needed to create the open environment that is needed in today's moment in time. But we will amplify that now. So while this becomes the shooting location, there are certain aspects of it that will remain here at the Performance Center, rehab facility, medical facility, the strength and conditioning facility. We have another space that we're doing in-ring training from. So it really shifts to different locations, and us being a bit more nimble, and talent just not showing up and being in one place for all the stuff they're going to do on a day-to-day basis, having to shift around a little bit more. But in this given time where we are, when talent come in to train, even in ring, they're doing it in small batches. Those small batches train together on the regular with their coaches, and that's kind of like their little bubble group. And then once they're done and they leave, and then everything is cleaned and sanitized, new group comes in, goes through the protocols, and then they train. So there's a lot of a different manner of how we were doing things. Even in recent time when we got back to training, it all had to be shifted anyways. And the Performance Center, itself, the main room where the rings were, had to get cleared out of all the equipment that was in here. The Thunderdome was built. Then it was fixing everything that was here. Then when we decided to move in a different direction, it was sort of gutting that and starting over with the process of what the building was. So a lot of work has been done here, but we're shifting to other locations and making it all work.
All right. Thank you for the time. And good job tonight. The crew did tremendous.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go ahead and take our next question from Sean Ross Sapp with Fightful. Please go ahead.
Hey, Paul. Thanks
Sean.
for taking the time. We've seen, I know you don't know what's going to happen with the draft, but we've seen a lot of methods, from like the shake-up to a standard draft to a draft where matches determine picks to people getting drafted and traded back for like half the roster like that same night. What is your ideal draft scenario, whether it be just from a viewer perspective or how it can benefit NXT, and how do you weigh sort of managing and booking talent to appear on your show when you know that some of them are going to be going elsewhere? Like, how do you weigh how they appear on your show versus protecting them for when they appear on Raw and SmackDown?
Yeah, no, that's a fine line. Look, when I say not knowing what is happening in the draft right now, my not knowing probably means more than likely, I would imagine, and just going off of what we've seen with commercials and everything, that we won't be. Now, that can always change and tweak, but a lot of talent has come up from the Performance Center, from this, or gone from NXT to Raw to SmackDown over the last, over the last 12 months. I want to say the numbers, it's in the high teens, over the last 12 months. So there's been a lot of movement and a lot of activity. I'm always for what is best for talent. So, when the conversations are had, we try to have as much advance notice whether talent are coming in or going out, that we can plan for it appropriately, both on the exit and the entrance, for all sides. But sometimes that can't happen, and sometimes it's short notice. For the most part, though, we have a fair amount of advance notice, and we have time to be able to move on stuff. But there are some talents still that are a part of those rosters that are still waiting to debut. So there's a lot of opportunity there, but it goes across all three brands, and no matter how it goes, we'll be ready to make it work.
Thank you, Paul. Good show tonight.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
Go ahead and take our next question from Jason Powell with ProWrestling.net. Please go ahead.
Hey, Paul. Good show tonight.
Hey, Jason.
So Ridge Holland played a big part in the post-match angle, and I think the most memorable moment that he had prior to tonight was that near-miss spot with Johnny Gargano on NXT TV, and it doesn't seem like it made you sour on him. So can you talk about what happened that maybe us as non-wrestlers didn't see it? Is there some excuse for that? And also just what you see in Ridge in general.
I think he's a great performer, and I can tell you that across the board here, whether it's our opinions, and by ours I mean as coaches and producers and all of that, our opinion, but he is seen very highly amongst the other performers here as well, and his skill set. The issue that he had with the Johnny thing was a little bit of a timing thing. It's a funny thing now that, and you just said it, people that don't do this for a living, or sometimes even people that do, there's such a fine line in our business between something being sports entertainment and then something being very real. It's a very fine line. It's a very physical business, and it's a very fine line. And look, I had to say nothing more than that than Finn Balor's on his way to get an X-ray on his jaw right now, just on a strike, and that's no one's fault. There's a very fine line. We do the best we can to make this look as impactful and as devastating as possible, with as little impact and devastation as possible at the end of the day, right? And real consequences. But it's not an exact science. So, you get timing wrong. One guy zigs when the other guy zags for a half a beat, and things are different. So the Ridge Holland thing was not a Ridge Holland screw up. It's easy to look at him and go, oh, the green guy. It wasn't that at all. It was just the timing thing and the way it went down, especially when two guys have never been in the ring together before. So that's all that was. Everybody here is very high on Ridge. Very skilled, great guy, right human being, really wants it, passionate about this, and people are not only excited about what he can bring to the table, they're excited to work with him and help get him there. And that's what I love about this business. So, I believe in him a lot, and so does everybody else here.
Great. Thank you for the time.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and take our next question from Miguel Perez with Marca. Please go ahead.
Hey, Miguel.
Hey, good night. Paul from Spain. It's 5 a.m. here in Spain, but it doesn't matter.
Miguel, I'm so sorry. Your audio is just a little bit low. Can you maybe move a little closer to the mic?
Yes, do you hear me well?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
Okay. So, Paul, like I was saying, it's like 5 a.m. here in Spain, and it's been a great show. And I need to congratulate you and the guys for this amazing night. So, during NXT TakeOver 31 has been announced that Halloween Havoc will be returning as a special NXT show at October 28th. And months ago, we saw the return of In Your House. So, with the return of Halloween Havoc, is there any possibility to see returning more classic pay-per-views of WWE in NXT?
I think that it depends on the moment and what resonates today. There's just certain things that nostalgia work. In Your House worked. Halloween Havoc is something I've heard fans talk about for a long period of time about wanting to see again, and I think people enjoyed it, and it was a great way to have some fun and do something different with the show. So whenever there's those opportunities, it's great. If we can bring back nostalgia, great. If it's creating something new, great. I'm as much as we're always looking towards doing things that historically work, fans love the history of our business. They just do, and so do I. It's why we call this the Capitol Wrestling Center. It's for that history. It's why the cold open for the show tonight was what it was. With the paying tribute to that history of Jess McMahon and Vince Sr. and Vince now and using a statement that he wrote in 1977 to open the show. It felt right. And I love that nostalgia. So when we can do nostalgia, it's great. When we can create something different, like when we did the Fight Pit, that is in some ways a little bit of a throwback, but something new as well. I love that. So if anything that we can create that fans will enjoy, I'm all for it. So to me, that's what keeps the business interesting and keeps it fun.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul. And like I said before, it has been a great night. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, we'll do two more, then we'll call it a night. Thank you.
Go ahead and take our next question from John Alba with Central Florida. Please go ahead.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, John.
Really appreciate taking the time to speak with us. Great show, as always. I want to inquire more about the venue real quick here. How are the protocols for the COVID separation, as you alluded to with the pods, determined? And could you see this becoming a more permanent venue for WWE programming after the deal with the Thunderdome runs up?
No, I think that the intent is to stay separate. I think that Thunderdome, where it is, and I think that Raw and SmackDown having a different feel and a different vibe and energy is important. I think that, if they move from Amway, I think that will be to a larger facility and to, if that happens, it will be to a larger facility and it will maintain being the Thunderdome and will be different, but in that unique standpoint. For us, in this venue, and I want to stress how great our partnership with Full Sail is, and that we still have it and we're still utilizing that in the way that in every way that we can. Part of this was wanting to be able to do what we're doing here and not being able to have the ability to do that and be able to move it. This kind of layout needs to stay in a place and have a residency, and we can do that here. As far as the protocols, we just like we have since the beginning, is taken every precaution that we can. We work with the CDC, we work with local officials, we work with our medical staff and our medical experts to liaise with them, and they create protocols and systems for us that we then follow. and that's what you saw here tonight. All the people that were in the building were tested. They were then as well scanned here again. You know, they were tested today, scanned today before they walked through the door. You know, kept in groups in the pods, kept separated. They walked from the door into their pods, stayed there, walked back out the door. You know, I mean, it was we have every precaution that we can to make sure that not only their health and safety, but our talent, staff, and crew as well going forward. And we'll continue to follow that. But as you know, these safety protocols, you know, all you have to do is follow the CDC to know their thoughts and protocols change. So you have to constantly keep, you know, an eye on it and change with it and make sure that you're doing the best thing possible. And that's really what everybody's doing now, is the best that they possibly can. And as you know, here in Florida, things have opened up quite a lot, but we're still taking every precaution that we can.
No doubt. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Hey,
We'll go ahead
last
and take
question.
our last question from Alistair McGeorge with Metro UK. Please go ahead.
Hi, Paul. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Ready to sleep soon, I think, and get ready for work in the morning. But great show. Really enjoyed it tonight.
Thank you very much.
And I wanted to chat a bit about Finn after the main event. He's been quite candid over the last sort of month or two about needing a break last year after being a little burnt out and admitting that he was kind of coasting and going through the motions a bit on Raw and SmackDown. So how rewarding is it for you to see him thriving on nights like this, where he does seem to have that fire back and be where he belongs?
It's awesome. You know, look, any talent, you go through ups and downs in your career. You go through moments where you're motivated. You go through moments where you're coasting. You go through moments where you're fully engaged, and then moments where you're just kind of like, all right, you know, this is good, but just kind of getting through. And, you know, it's not that it's terrible in those moments, because sometimes you're deep into them before you realize it. I'm just kind of phoning it in a little bit here and coasting. And, you know, that new challenge sometimes, you know, it's just sometimes a new performer comes in and you get a new program with somebody, and that just energizes you and lights you up. Other times it's a shift like Finn had, you know, and moving over to NXT and coming back here, and just I think there's just a different vibe, a different energy, a different level of what you can do as a performer, and also to come back here then and maybe be with some other people that are also, there's a lot of young talent here in this brand that are trying to get themselves to that next level, trying to prove something. They've had opportunities, but they're trying to, you know, further themselves. And there's a lot of hunger and a lot of passion and a lot of drive. And sometimes it's what you need to inspire yourself to get out of the rut that you're in of phoning it in and go back to being like, oh, right, yeah, I remember why I love this so much, and why I go the extra mile. It brings your passion back. I see it in guys like Finn. I see it, you know, I'll be honest with you, that's for any of you that have been here, well, for any of you that haven't, when the time is right, I'd love you to come to the Performance Center or these shows. But if you have been here, the Performance Center is just it's part of the reason why I love coming down here. When you're in the room with these young men and women that are just, you know, blood, sweat, and tears every day, trying to prove themselves on a different level and just going at it. It's just inspiring, and you leave here energized and excited and passionate about the business again. And it's easy to get into the day-to-day of it and forget why you love it so much, forget why it's so fun, and, you know, and get into that rut. So going back to the beginning and going back to your roots sometimes and refinding your passion is where it's at. And, you know, for Finn is such a great guy, and he has so much passion for the business, that to see him at this level of engaged and just out there laying it all on the line and challenging himself and challenging others to step up to him, it's awesome. I love it. It's what this is all about. And I'm looking forward to seeing others do that as well. So, that's the beauty of this business is to me is the whole thing is just about passion. When fans come, it's about their passion for what we do. When talent are here, it's about their passion for what they want to give to those fans. And when all of that comes out and everybody just wants to give it all, it's just something special. And I think tonight, you saw that. To me, tonight was about a crew, a design team, a crew, a staff that was so passionate about putting out a new product and making it big and the spectacle again, that they poured their heart and soul into the arena here tonight. And talent came here. They were inspired by that passion of what they saw when they walked through the door tonight and got to see this place for the first time. And they delivered on a different level. And fans came back in the door and were excited to see a spectacle and a show again, and they delivered at a different level. It's all about feeding off each other's passions, and when you inspire that in somebody else, that's when this business is the best. So that's what it's all about.
No, absolutely, and thank you very much, and congrats on a great show again.
Thank you very much. I know that was the last question, so I really appreciate it. I appreciate, especially as you guys mentioned, it's Spain, 5 a.m., England, whatever. You guys have been up all night. I appreciate you hanging in there, enjoying the show, and staying on the line to talk about it and promote it and everything else. So thank you very much. Again, can't say enough about what we were able to do tonight and the spectacle that we were able to do again. And I look forward to being able to do it again in a few days on Wednesday and continue to do what we do, deliver for our fans, and hopefully for us, for fans, for everybody, this is at least a small step back towards normalcy that we can all enjoy and hopefully all get back there again. So thank you all. Everybody stay safe and healthy.